Someone's very loud. Let me fix that. Okay. Now it should be a little more silent in here, if that makes any sense. What's up, guys? How you doing? My name is Tristan. Today, we're gonna be talking about cameras. So, I don't really have anything too crazy right now. This is actually going to be the first video on the channel that's actually shot on something other than my phone. Where is my phone? Oh, it's way over here. This thing, iPhone 12 mini. It's what I've used to shoot all my videos so far. Now I'm upgraded to Canon EOS Rebel T5i. Yeah, that's what it says on it. It's just for work. I have a job with a local school district and I'm shooting for them, so that's what I've been using. I've been using their camera. It's not the best, but you know, it allows me to do things that I can't do with the phone, like set focus, get more depth of field with a higher aperture, but nothing crazy because it's still a kit lens. Lens says it goes to 3.5 to 5.6. It's a 18 to 55 mil. It's still a crop sensor, so I believe this camera has a 1.6 crop factor. So that's still pretty cropped in, like 20, 24 to like 70-ish. It has some advantages over the phone, but it also has some disadvantages. It's very noisy, it's not as sharp. Pretty much every single image has a lot of defringing in it, so every single image I have to go in Lightroom and fix that. But I make do with it and it helps me a lot. So then, you know, what am I gonna do? What are my requirements for a camera? What am I looking for? I really am looking for a camera, just bottom line. It's gotta be a really good pro quality hybrid camera. I don't want something that's in more for photo, more for video. I want it to take decent photo and video, because I do both of those things. I don't do one or the other. My budget is around $2,000. Some other things that I'm really looking for are, really would like to have a flip screen. This camera right here has a flip screen on it. Super nice to have. I can see what I'm looking at, what's going on in the image. If it works, if it doesn't, super nice to have. So another feature that I really would like to have is to have pretty good low light performance or dynamic range, because I shoot a lot of these studio videos like this one right here. And low light is very important because it's not the most ideal lighting. I have this light ring cranked up really bright, and I prefer not to do that because I prefer to have a more moody cinematic look almost, and this just really isn't it. If I had more low light, I could bump the ISO up more. If I have more dynamic range with this camera I'm using right now, it just really limits you when you don't have those things, not even in a studio environment, but just going out. I've noticed with this camera, if I have one part properly exposed in the image, there's a lot of times where other parts aren't because the dynamic range is just not there yet. So let's take a look at my options, what I've been looking at, and kind of just what's out there. So you're gonna notice a lot of these cameras on this list are all Sony, and that's just because that's what I've used, that's what I'm familiar with, and I also really like the idea of having insane low light performance as well as dynamic range. Now another camera I was looking at was the A7R II, and you can find those on sale for like $1,200. I found one the other day and it's like, they're so cheap. I know, like, for some people that's not cheap, but as to me, that's a really good price for what you're getting with that feature set. But like I said, the video is just, it's also an important factor to me. And the R in the R2 stands for photo. It's a more resolution. I think that's a 42 megapixel camera. That's massive. The problem is then you don't have the best sensor for video. So there's a trade-off. And to me, I don't think that's worth it. I want to be able to take both photo and video. So the next camera I've been thinking about getting is the A7 III, and that's probably the highest contender on this list, just because, like I said, I want something that's a hybrid photo and video camera, and I feel like the A7 III is kind of the best camera for your money that has good photo and good video. The next camera I was looking at was the Canon EOS R, and that's just really because that camera is really good for its price to performance. It's great for both photo and video, and it's really similar to the A7 III. I think those are both at the same price point, both kind of similar, same feature set. But like I said, I prefer Sony, so that's the biggest reason why that's just a turnoff for me. You know, I'm open to it, and there's a few things that you can't get on the Sony that you can get on the Canon. Like, you get better lenses. They're known for their color science, which is a lot better than Sony. Even though Sony's been getting better over the years, there's still a lot of magenta in their colors. There's even some greens. Whereas Canons just look a lot more natural, and you don't have to do as much in, you know, post. It's a lot easier. Something on the ESR is that it can record 10-bit if you have an HDMI output, and that is something that the A7 III is lacking. To me, that's such an important feature to have because you can get rid of a lot of your color banding and also just have more control in post with the colors, the exposure, all of that. So the bottom line is the two cameras that are standing out to me right now are the A7 III and the EOS R. I probably would just go with the A7 III right now, but there are a few things that are worrying me. It's a little outdated. It's been out for I think 3 years now, so it's getting a little aged. It's still a great, really powerful camera, but there are a lot of new features that it doesn't have because it's just older. So that's why I'm thinking of waiting for the A7 IV. So right around September is when we're supposed to figure out a little more information about the camera. Right now it's all just rumors, but from what I've heard, it intrigues me. I've seen 4K 60 FPS. I've also seen 30 megapixel compared to the 24 that's on the A7 III right now. That's pretty big. The 60 FPS on the A7 IV, that's, you know, I don't know how much I'll use that. I'll have to see when I get the camera, but I'm feeling like that's something just really nice to have because you have that option to slow it down if you need to. So one thing I'm hoping the A7 IV has is gyro stabilization, and that's just because all the other Sonys that have come out recently have had it, and I don't think it's too much of a premium option or feature that they wouldn't include it, because even the ZV-1, which is not even $1,000 camera, it's a point and shoot camera, it even has that on it. So most likely I will just wait for the A7 IV. The price is going to be around $2,500 from what I've heard compared to the $2,000 on the A7 III. And would I prefer the $2,000? Most definitely. But what is that extra $500 going to be worth it to me? That's what I'm waiting for. And my plan is to wait just for the A7 IV to come out because I don't know what those features are, and I don't want to spend $2,000 on the A7 III and have the A7 IV come out in 2 months and regret it because there's a key feature or just a few things that I'm missing with the A7 IV. So what's my plan? I'm probably just going to be waiting for the A7 IV to come out. Does that mean I'm going to buy it? I really don't know yet. It all just depends on what the A7 IV has, what its feature set is, and what its price to performance is. It's rumored to be about $2,500. Is it going to be that price? We don't know. It could be $3,000. And if it's too expensive, if it doesn't have enough features for me to deem it worth the extra $500 to $1,000, however much more it is compared to the A7 III, I probably will just go with the A7 III and I'll call it a day. In the end, it doesn't really matter too much to me about the camera I get. Of course, that's an important thing to have. But I think the most important thing to have is to have skill and experience. And I think the cameras are just a tool for us to express ourselves through our skill and performance. Does that mean you still can't create good content with the stuff you have already? Or if you don't have good enough stuff? Well, here's what I think. I think that regardless of your gear, it's down to experience and skill. I mean, I have been shooting videos on my phone, my camera, and even my drone sometimes in my room. Why would I use a drone indoors? Because it's what I have. In the end, as long as you're creating something, you're developing more skills. I guess what I'm trying to say is, regardless of what gear you have, how expensive your gear is, don't think that that's a reason for you to stop creating or a reason to start creating. I think the bottom line is, if you want to do something, just do it. I always say, stop dreaming and start doing. And I think that it's almost like a cliche thing to say, but when you really start to think about it and understand what the meaning is behind that, it's basically, you know, you can sit here and dream about all these nice cameras and all these nice things that you can have. Or you can go out and create stuff and make stuff that can make it so you can get to that point. Because you can make a very high quality video or very high quality pictures or images with a phone or even a $200 DSLR that I'm using right now. You just have to know how to use the gear. Okay guys, I gotta wrap this up. I think I have a 30-minute record limit and I'm at 29 minutes and I really don't feel like recording another whole video. You know, it's just a lot. I know I just sound lazy. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free, like, comment, subscribe, all those things, you know. Follow me on Instagram, somewhere on the screen, I don't know, somewhere around here. And, you know, just let me know how you thought. What camera are you guys looking at getting? Do you like my choices? Do you have something better for me? Just let me know. I'm really interested. I'm interested in any feedback, any of that stuff. But anyways, remember, have a great day and go out there and get creative.